This is Tim Osborne from Travel Track on Sirk TV. I'm here in Sonoma County, California to visit the Kunde Winery. We'll be talking to both the owner and the winemakers about what it takes to create a great vintage.
Shaw, when he came to California, was looking for the next great Bordeaux, was the statement. And so he brought in cuttings from Latour and Margaux, and this particular block, right on top of this shelf, is where he put in his original vineyards in the end of the 1800s.
Sort of leading right into where we can't quite see Oakland, but that's right down that.
That's it, that's it. So that's San Pablo Bay, you can see right on the horizon there. And that is a lot of what influences a piece of dirt like this. We're south facing, so we're going to get that radiant intensity of sun that we want to get Cabernet ripe. But also because of that water, that means that we're going to have that fog bank in to come in every night, cool everything back down, and then give us that extended length growing season. So essentially, you know, feeling these things, putting your hand physically on it, you're going to know as they start to hydrate, start to soften, start to become flowers. It makes it a lot easier when you're looking at upcoming weather patterns to say, what stage of risk am I at right now? Because ultimately, you know, Mother Nature is in charge of this industry. We all try to pretend we are, but it isn't that way. So by looking at the just integrity of the cluster, where it's going to be at, you know, the tendril growth itself, this is going to be the shoot that'll create the leaves that'll support this fruit for the entire vintage.
And protect it.
And protect it and shade it. Ultimately, we are making a product that needs to be saleable. The perfect ego for the winemaker, I think, is always that I'm going to make the most expensive bottle, it's going to be the best, and you know, I'm going to do it the way that I like it, and people are just going to buy it. And you know, I think in a perfect world, yeah, that'd be great. But I think our real world is that, you know, we need to make an array, if you will, of different wines to have something that we can offer to everybody. You know, being a family-based winery, our goal is to be at the family dining room table. And ultimately that means we need to have a spectrum of wines that we can have, you know, great aunt that is going to love something that she remembers from her childhood, flavor-wise, whatever else, old world wines, all the way up to, you know, the 20-somethings that maybe like a little bit more tannin presence. So drink fresher, younger wines, ultimately because, you know, when you're young, you don't have the money to have a wine cellar. You're buying wines, you're taking them home, and you're drinking them within 2 days. So one of the nice offerings of Kunde and having a large estate with 17 different growing varietals is that ultimately we have the tools here So there's a huge amount of abundance of water. Anytime you have abundance of water, gives you this opportunity to be able to do agriculture. And that's a foundation. If you don't have water, you don't have anything. So getting up into these hills, you would have never planted a vineyard in 1882 on a hill like this, knowing that you're going to be using a horse and plow if it wasn't by absolute necessity. Wine ultimately for me is a passion product. You know, it is something that is going to make a lasting impression. Good, bad, and different. Hopefully, you know, you like the wines that you make. And I think that's ultimately what we try to do here at Kunde is we grow the grapes. We want to show the grapes that we grow from start to finish and ultimately produce wines that we drink with our own families. Part of getting that experience is being in a location like this where you have incredible diversity as far as topography, the hills, the interaction of the environment, the wildflowers, the animals around us. You know, all of that is going to add to this sense of place, which ultimately gives you what I consider, like I said, a passion product. Because ultimately, that's what I think is so fun about wine, is everyone likes something a little bit different. And maybe you can't always put your finger on it, but for me, it's really about texture. And getting mountain grown Cabernet in particular is about as good as it gets to me. So, cheers.